Wing Creations Polymer Clay Tutorial. Now it's time to choose your colors. You're going to need 3 colors: a body color, a hair color, and a hoof color. Now it's time to choose the tools we'll be using. You'll need a dotting tool, a silicone tool, a curved hook tool, a needle tool, and an X-Acto. Now we're going to work on making the head. First, we're going to soften the clay and make it into a circle. Now that we have our circle, we're going to set that down and we're going to make another little circle, which we will cut in half. We will take this piece and attach it to the head, and we will use our dental tool to smooth out the edges so it's a nice clean line between the muzzle and the head. As you can see, I'm using my fingers to clean it up a little bit so it's a little better. Now we're going to take both of our thumbs and we're going to get to the point where we're ready to put impressions on both sides, as you can see me doing right now. This is going to be where we're going to place the eyes. However, we are going to paint the eyes on this cutie, and we will be doing that at the end of the video. So that will be the last step. Now we are going to work on the torso. Right now I am softening the clay in my hands. The friction warms it up. So this will be the torso. So you're going to want to not make a teardrop shape, but you're going to want it longer on one side, and where the neck comes up, you're going to want it shorter. Now you can see I'm trying to give it a little bit of a curve, which you guys are also going to want to do. So it's going to give it a little bit of a booty. So here you can see I'm seeing if I'm happy with the height. I thought it was a little too high, so now I'm going back and thinning the neck a little bit. And I'm going to attach the wire into the body. This will help keep the unicorn from falling over, and it attaches the pieces nicely. Little tip: if you do not put wire or a toothpick inside your piece, it will tilt over while in the toaster oven. So now you can see we are using my dental hook tool to smooth the pieces and have the head and the torso completely connected together. Now we are going to work on making the hips / thighs of our unicorn. So let's make a ball. Now I'm going to cut the ball in half, and I'm going to see if I'm happy with the size of the hips on the unicorn. I think they're a little too big, so we're going to take half of this ball and we're going to cut it in half. And I am very happy with this size. Now, as you can see, I am pinching the material, and I'm going to use my hook tool, and I am going to connect the clay to the torso so it's nice and smooth. As you can see, I use my fingers to smooth out the pieces so they're nice and fluid on the piece. Now we are going to work on making the hind legs. So as you can see, I have rolled out a snake, and I'm going to split it in half, and you want it to be even on both sides because you want them to measure up when you attach them. Now I am going to roll out some of this gold, which we're going to use to make the hooves and the horn later on. So as you can see, you want it to have a circular feel to it, a cane feel. This way it will fit the hooves nicely. Now we'll use the X-Acto blade to cut and add each of the hooves. As you can see, I am slowly making sure that the pink and the gold clay is bonded nicely together so it won't fall off. Take your time with this. You want it to look nice and well connected. Now I am going to attach the hind legs to the horse. Sit both pieces firmly on and voila, you have half of a horse made, which will be turning into a unicorn. Now we are going to roll out for the arms. So I'm going to do the exact same thing we did with the back hooves. Now we will repeat the process and we're going to roll it out and split it in half. And we're going to do the same as we did, like we did with the hooves on the back, and do that with the same on the front. We want to make sure it's flat in a circular shape. So pressing it into the table and then rolling it helps immensely. Repeat the process as we've done before. You're going to want to make sure there's a good connection. So you're going to roll and press the hoof into the leg to make sure they're fully connected. Now you want to make sure they're even and they're about the same shape and the right height. Now you can see I am getting ready to make sure both legs are even so they look right when we attach them to the body. Here you can see I'm attaching the first leg to the body. Now, if you want to do a simple pose, you can repeat the same process as you're seeing me do now to the other side of the body. I wanted my unicorn to have more of a playful expression, so I decided to tilt her head a little bit to the side and give her other arm a bend in it, so it looks like she's just happy. And this will take a little bit of trial and error. It might be a little bit more complicated, so if you feel more comfortable doing both hooves down, that is perfectly fine. This is your unicorn. You want to make it the way you'd like. Now it's time to take the dotting tool and we're going to poke 2 holes for nostrils. We will be using the flat tip silicone tool to make a mouth for our unicorn. As you can see, it makes a nice, even, clean line. Now we're going to work on adding the ears. So again, I am going to make 2 pointed sides to this piece of clay that I'm flattening in my fingers. So it'll be pointed on both ends. And you're going to cut it in half with the X-Acto blade. Measure, make sure they're about the same size. Then you are going to pinch the bottom and then slit it to the side like this. And you're going to attach the ear to the top of the head. Make sure to use your tool to make sure this is completely connected, because your ear is it's a little bit more fragile, so you want it to be connected to the thing. As you can see, I'm using the back of the tool. Nice, smooth, connected. Yeah, just being a little OCD, but that's how I roll. Now you're going to do the same with the other ear, but you're going to set this ear to the side. And you'll see why in a little bit. Again, pinch. Make sure it's in decent shape, and I'm going to set it down. Now we are going to work on adding the hair. Now watch, I'm going to first roll it out, and I'm going to flatten it with my fingers. And we are going to make strips for the hair. Now I'm going to repeat this process a few times. And to let you know, you're going to want like a business card or an ID or something that is flat, like a card. Because what you're going to end up doing, as you'll see in a minute, well, I think I'm making one more, is we're going to use the card to make little lines in the hair. And then I want to give the unicorn's hair a little bit of a curl. So as you can see, I'm just using my fingers to pinch and twist the hair a little bit. once the back side of the head is covered, you're going to start working on the bangs. Now we're going to repeat the process that we did in the back of the head, but on the front of the head. And I'm using, again, just a little thank you card that I have. It makes the perfect design and just gives the hair that extra touch of wonder, and it looks more refined, realistic, whatever you want to choose. Now that I'm done with the bangs, I thought she'd look really cute with a little curl of hair next to her ear. So I'm doing this, and I'm not too happy with the first attempt, so I'm going to try it another time. And I'm happy with the second attempt. So again, me having done this for 10 years, I still am not always happy with the way things look. Now it's time to set the horsey aside, and we're going to work on the tail. Again, you're going to roll out strips of the clay, and we are going to, again, put the texture in them by using the thank you card. But first I'm rolling out, I believe I did 3. Yep, I did 3. As you can see, using this to texture the hair, and I am going to work on adding a little bit of movement to it so it kind of looks like it's just not flat and stagnant. Now you're going to set these pieces in just a way on top of each other, so how a horse's tail would look. I wanted to add a couple more smaller pieces on top to give it more dimension. So as you watch, I am rolling out another piece, and I'm going to use the card again to add to it. And I believe I make one more before we're going to get ready to attach the tail to our beautiful unicorn. Now you want a nice flat piece to set against the rump, and you're going to use your liquid Sculpting. Or if you don't have liquid Sculpting and you're more daring like me, you could use super glue, but I suggest liquid Sculpting. And as you can see, I am pushing the tail onto the body. As you can see, it's a nice fit, and the liquid Sculpting makes it stay. Now, remember that ear we set to the side? You're going to use some liquid Sculpting again, and you're going to attach it on top of the hair. Yep, and is she not looking adorable? Now you're going to want a little circular tool. Now it can either be a circle like that, or you can use a straw, because we're going to roll out our horn. Now you're going to roll out like you are making little snakes, and you need 2 of them, and then you're going to pinch them together, so both, and then twirl it like this, and then you're going to cut it and attach it to the top of the unicorn. I thought the hair was a little off center, so I went back and fixed it. Very easy fix. And now you're going to see me use a little bit of the liquid Sculpting to make sure the horn stays. Now it's time to bake your unicorn in the oven at 270 degrees Fahrenheit. I am using Posca pens to paint the eyes of our unicorn. You are going to start by making 2 circles on both sides of the head. As you can see, I'm blocking the camera's view a little bit. I'm sorry about that. But one eye was a little bit smaller than the other. Now you can use any type of acrylic paint. You could use a paintbrush. You can use paint pens. I have a preference to paint pens, or using the paint and a dotting tool to apply the paint to the unicorn. As you see, I'm going to use a dotting tool now to add the dark blue. It really adds to the unicorn having the two shades. Now you could use blue and black if you wanted to, or whatever color you want the eyes to be. It's your choice. Now, if you don't feel comfortable painting the eyes on your unicorn, like in my dragon tutorial, you could use cabochons. It's up to you. Now, this cutie is going to get her little scleras in her eyes. As you see, I'm posting them on both sides. Little dots. Now we are going to use this pink marker to add a little heart to make her a Valentine's Day unicorn. Isn't she just adorable, guys? I am so happy with the way she's turning out. Now I'm using a Q-tip and some pastels to just give her cheeks a little bit of shimmer, so it looks like she's blushing, and put a little bit on the top of her muzzle and in her ears. At this point, you should be finished with your unicorn. I hope you had fun.